Your computer is trying to tell you things. There are secret messages hidden in the numbers you see every day, and today we're going to learn how to read them. So, where do we start? Well, let's dive right in with one of the most common signals your machine sends you. It's temperature.
All right, let's talk about your graphics card's temperature. You see that number pop up in your monitoring software, right? Well, here's the thing. That number, it's only half the story.
Yeah, if you've ever looked closely at your monitoring software, you've probably seen two numbers for your GPU. There's the regular temp, and then there's this other thing called the hotspot. So what in the world is that? Okay, this is super important. The hotspot isn't some kind of average. It is the single hottest point on that entire piece of silicon. And that's the number your card is actually using to save itself from, melting down. Think of it like this. The average temp is like the weather report for your whole city. It's a pleasant 75 degrees today. But the hotspot? That's the temperature of the asphalt in a parking lot under the blazing sun. One tells you the general vibe, the other tells you where things are about to get really hot and trigger some serious problems like thermal throttling. And you know what? A pretty big difference between those two numbers is totally 100% normal. So if you see your GPU chugging along at 80 degrees Celsius, but the hotspot is hitting 95, don't freak out. That's not a problem. In fact, that's your card working exactly as it should. So when should you start to worry? Here it is. The magic number is 105 degrees Celsius. If you see that hotspot consistently creeping over 105, that's your PC's screaming for help. That's your signal that it's time to think about a deep clean or maybe even some new thermal paste. But okay, knowing when to do maintenance is just the first step. How you do it, well, that can be a real minefield. And that brings us right to the DIY maintenance trap. Now, this might sound a little dramatic, but trust me, this is a very real danger. After years and years of getting hot and then cooling down, the thermal paste on an old GPU can basically turn into concrete. It's not a paste anymore, it's an adhesive. So if you're dead set on doing this yourself, you have to do it this way. First, run a game or stress test for about 10 minutes. Get that card warm. The heat will help soften that old, crusty paste. Then, and this is so crucial, gently twist the heatsink. Do not just pull. If you yank it straight off, you risk literally ripping the chip right off the board. A little twist breaks that seal safely. Look, at the end of the day, the best advice is the simplest. If you have any doubt, any at all, just take it to a professional. Seriously, paying a pro a small fee is a whole lot better than turning your expensive graphics card into a paperweight. And here's another classic DIY mistake, mixing up thermal paste and thermal pads. They might seem kind of similar, but they are absolutely not interchangeable. Paste is a super thin layer for surfaces that are practically touching. Pads are these thick, squishy things meant to bridge a real physical gap between a component and the cooler. And this right here is a perfect horror story of what happens when you get it wrong. Somebody working on a laptop saw thick thermal pads on the power delivery components and thought, hey, I'll just put some high-tech thermal paste there instead. Bad move. The paste is way too thin to bridge the gap, so those components got zero cooling. They shot up to 97 degrees, and the whole system just slammed on the brakes. The only fix was to open it all up again and put the right material in. All right, enough about maintenance nightmares. Let's talk about something way more fun, upgrades. And we're going to start with maybe the most debated topic out there right now, VRAM. So you're shopping for a GPU, and you see a choice like this. On one hand, you've got a brand new RTX 3060. It has a warranty, and it's packing a whopping 12 gigabytes of VRAM. But sitting right next to it on the used market is an RTX 3080. It's a much, much more powerful GPU, but it's older, has no warranty, and only has 10 gigs of VRAM. So what's the right call? Here's the best way I've ever heard it explained. VRAM is like an insurance policy. A powerful GPU core, like the one in that 3080, gives you performance you can feel every single second you're gaming. It's pure, raw speed. Having tons of VRAM is your safety net. It's there to catch you if you decide to run a massive 8K texture pack or a huge creative project. It's for the what-ifs. So let's just break it down. Who is each card for? If you're a student, a creator on a budget, or you're just nervous about buying used parts, the 3060 is your safe choice. It's guaranteed to work and it can handle anything you throw at it, even if it's a bit slower. But if you're a gamer who just wants the most frames for your dollar right now, and you're cool with the risks of buying used, the 3080 is the performance king. No contest.
Okay, final topic. You've got your card, you've got your PC built. Now, how do you make it look as good as possible? Let's talk about the big dilemma: resolution versus settings. This is the age-old question, right? What's actually better, playing on a big 4K monitor but having to turn all the settings down to low, or playing on a standard 1080p monitor with all the beautiful graphics settings cranked up to ultra? People argue about this all day, but the real answer? It all comes down to how far your chair is from your screen. It's actually pretty simple when you think about it. If you're sitting at a desk just a couple of feet away, your eyes can see everything. You can spot individual pixels. And in that scenario, the crispness of 4K is just undeniable. It looks sharper, period. But if you're playing from a couch, 10 feet away, you can't see those tiny pixels anymore. What you will see are the amazing lighting effects, the detailed shadows, and the lush environments that you get from high settings. So, what does this all mean for us? If 4K is just too tough for most graphics cards to run well, and 1080p is, let's be honest, starting to show its age, where's the sweet spot? What should you actually be aiming for? For almost everyone building a PC today, the answer is right here: 1440p, also known as 2K, with a high refresh rate. It is the perfect middle ground. And right now, everything has lined up perfectly to make 2K the new standard. The monitors themselves are cheaper than they have ever been. Today's mid-range graphics cards are powerful enough to push high frame rates at this resolution. It's a huge visual jump up from 1080p without the absolutely crushing performance cost of 4K. And with amazing tech like DLSS and FSR, hitting those high frame rates is easier than ever. It's a total no-brainer. So when you put it all together, understanding the signals, the maintenance traps, the upgrade choices, you can build a much smarter, faster PC. It really makes you think, doesn't it? What's the one safe choice you're making with your own rig that might be holding you back from the performance you could be getting?
If you enjoy this video, please like, share, subscribe and hit the bell to the later update from my channel. Thank you for watching till the end and see you in the next video.